Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to identify an angle to the race that might lead us to backing the winner. Well, a big day's racing on Sunday at Sha Tin. 3 Group 2s, and most importantly they are the designated lead-up races to the Hong Kong international races in early December. So you'll be seeing the very best horses in Hong Kong on show on Sunday in those 3 races. Now, from a betting point of view, maybe not as attractive is the fact we're going to have 2 long odds-on favourites in 2 of those races, and I think we might have quite a warm favourite as well in the other one. So I'm bypassing those as we go in search of a winner elsewhere on the program. The first race I want to take a look at is race 2, where our winning factor is the map. This is a Class 4, 1400 metres here, and I'm sure that James McDonald joining the jockey roster is going to get a lot of attention. He's got a booking here for the very consistent Ballistic Win. Zach Purton gets on a class dropper, Super Love Dragon. Greenwich hasn't had much luck with barriers again, but is a chance. Windspeed won well last time this course and distance, and California Moxie is close to breaking through for his maiden victory. But I want to focus here on 2 horses in particular, Ballistic Win and Windspeed. Firstly, Windspeed. Now, as a 3-year-old last season, he had 5 starts, went out a very long odds in the betting on each occasion and didn't show us an awful lot. He seems to have come back a much better horse as a 4-year-old. His first up run was quite good, and then second up he produced this victory over Sunday's course and distance. This is race 112. He's in gate 12, blue colours with a white cap. And Windspeed jumps well, and although there's a good speed early, he's able to work across from the outside to take a position behind the leader, Affirm. Now he gets a breather when the pace drops out of the race in the second section, and then he's there poised to sprint with them when they turn for home. And although the final sectional is quick, he dashes past the leaders and goes clear to win with some authority. Now, just half an hour later, Ballistic Win went out favourite for a similar race. This is race 113. He's in gate 3, also blue colours with white sleeves. Ballistic Win jumps just okay, but Hugh Bowman is in no great hurry anyway, settling Ballistic Win in midfield for the first half of the race, then gradually putting him into the race around the home turn. Now he makes his challenge at the 300 metres, and he's had his chance to go after the leaders, but has no answer to the horse who's coming off his back here, Mastermind, and then is cut out of second in the final stages as well. So one was a winner, an outsider who surprised most people. The other horse, yet another run from a consistent run of form from Ballistic Win, but did appear to have his chance. So it certainly looks like Windspeed was the better performance, but there is another way that we can compare them and be really accurate about that. Here you can see the individual splits run by each horse. Now, of course, track changes don't happen in half an hour between races, so we've basically got exactly the same track. And the times you can see here, they're not the leader-to-leader times that we showed on the heat maps with the replays. Here you can see the actual times these horses ran, and when we saw Windspeed pushing forward early last start from his outside gate, he was running just average time himself, but more than 3 lengths faster than Ballistic Win in the same section. Now they both got a rest in the slow second section of their races, running 4 lengths below average, give or take some change in each case. Then similar times around the circle as well, before Windspeed sprinted 1.5 lengths faster than Ballistic Win down the straight. So Windspeed did more early and more late than his major rival on Sunday. The better actual performance there, clearly Windspeed. Now, I did note on that graphic that this Sunday, Ballistic Win, he goes down £1 pound in the handicaps, and Windspeed goes up £7. So that does bring their performances quite a bit closer together. But certainly the better effort from Windspeed. But I've made the winning factor here the map because these 2 horses are very well favoured by it. I don't think a true tempo is set in stone here, but we have a positive rider, Lyle Hewitson, on a horse who's been generally ridden positively, Greenwich, from a wide gate. So they probably put some speed into at least the early part of the race, while there are also blinkers going on for the first time with My Flying Angel, Unison and Concord Star, who all have some natural pace as well. So they could be contributors to a decent speed. So I'm calling it a good tempo that will suit both Ballistic Win from gate 5 and Wind Speed drawn next to him. With Greenwich having to do that work early, California Moxie likely to get back behind the other chances, as will Super Love Dragon, who has been a slow beginner in his Hong Kong runs. Those horses look to have some disadvantages. So that leaves us with 2, and we've favoured Wind Speed's performance last time, but the performance this season of his trainer also gives us a push in his direction. There's plenty of this season to go, of course, but here you see our version of the top trainers for the season to date, with Newnham well ahead of market expectations, making him very punter friendly, sitting high in the table off not that many runners compared to other yards, and in fact actually ahead of the market by a bigger margin than any other trainer. And in fact, both of last season's new trainers are doing a good job this year, with Cody Moe also ranked there in 3rd. So the tip from me in race 2, Wind Speed. His winning factor, the map. Now I do think that the map favours both of the horses that we are looking at here, but the performance of Wind Speed was a better one on the same day last start, and the form of his trainer gives us an extra push in Wind Speed's favour. The other race I want to take a look at is race 10, where our winning factor is the pace. This is a Class 3, 1400 metres, with an interesting newcomer, formerly from the Aidan O'Brien yard, Johannes Brahms, with Zach Purton choosing to ride him. A Gracious Express from the Ricky Yu yard is consistent. King Miles messed up the start last start. That was uncharacteristic, but he had looked very handy prior to that. Mastermind looks a horse on the rise, and Magnificent 9 ran a good race last week and backs up at a more suitable distance. But my focus is on just 2 horses, the winner rising in grade, Mastermind, and the very consistent Gracious Express. Now, Gracious Express, first of all, he won in May over 1200 metres. Hasn't won since, of course, but he hasn't been out of the first 4 either. He's a very consistent horse, and here is his latest offering when 3rd. This is race 101. He's in gate 11 with dark blue and red colours, and Gracious Express begins as well as any runner here, really. But jockey Derek Leung looks to his inside, sees he can't get across, so he steadies, looking for some cover, and he does get it. In the 3 wide line, but still a fair way off the leaders when they quicken sharply from the 400 metres. Still, Gracious Express, as has been the case in all his runs, applies himself well, pulling back good ground all the way down to the post. Mastermind, on the other hand, he comes off 2 straight wins. He did show some good talent last season as a 3-year-old, but struck a couple of hurdles in his training, had a few things go wrong. Things have gone much more smoothly this season, and that's why he's looking at 3 in a row if he can win on Sunday. Now here we see him in race 113, gate 12, blue and pink colours, and if you think this is familiar, we just saw this race in the earlier segment. So just to recap, not a lot of pace here early stages as Mastermind gets back in the field, so not a suitable race shape for him. When the leaders dash in the stretch though, he's able to still out-sprint them, and he produces some good acceleration to join in quickly, assert his authority, and he wins pretty well. That's a very decent win. He's certainly up to Class 3 on the basis of that performance, and gets the usual drop in the handicaps with rising in class. But I did make the winning factor here the pace, and that's where their chances go in different directions. When we look at the map, there is a complete absence of leaders here, and with it, an absence of pace. So there's no help at all for horses looking to run on. Fantastic Fun, he's been showing some speed in his trials. King Miles can race handy if he jumps cleanly this time. And Gracious Express we saw begin well last time before conceding ground. And we have even seen him race well sitting outside the lead in races last season, so he can be right up on the front end. This is a chance for him to be positive and get an edge. So the tip from me in race 10, Gracious Express. His winning factor, the pace. He's a very consistent horse, and I think the pace of this race is really going to work against some of the other main chances, whereas Gracious Express has been versatile enough to take advantage of that, and that gives him his chance to break through again. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Sunday. Enjoy those Group 2s. I'll see you next time.